I just saw a trade opportunity over here. I'm kind of late to it. And we're going to try and look at how we can possibly take this trade. If this doesn't play out well, then I'll just do another video for you guys. So I'm looking at NAS and hopefully, man, it's moved the whole thing. I was driving and saw this level in here that I wanted to look at, which was a FEG or a gap. And we see that we're getting some strong pullback. I then looked at the 1 hour. And I saw that over here, the 1 hour had gone external, right? I'm hoping we're going to get another pullback here still. External into this particular level that got some reaction. I then looked at the 5 minute and I saw that we turned around and then manipulated below this low. That is Model 3 in action right there. And truth be told, under normal circumstances, I would have been in right about here. And I'm going to explain it a bit more in detail once I actually get the setup. So let me move that across for now, because I'm going to try and catch this in any case and see how far we can take it. Okay. So at the moment, I'm looking to get a possible market execute right here. Oh no, the paper trading is not active. Let's do that. But I wanted to simulate an actual trade here for you guys as well. I didn't take, as you guys know, I normally take trades on my Euro USD, but there was no opportunity for me to take a good high quality trade today. So let me see if we can get that far, right? That's what I want to do. We're going to look at a buy over here. We might have to take a buy right there. And I'm going to put the SR over there, right? Okay, we're taking in on the buy. In fact, I'll add another position over there. Let's have a look. Okay, so another one. And I'm going to move that SR over there as well. Okay. So we have a stop loss of about $651. And we'll take up our proposed 3R. I might not take it all the way there, but we have a take profit of 1,262. So gotten a bit later than I would have liked. So I'm also doing a 2R over there. Okay. That would be the trade. But let me take you through it from the top again. Okay. So earlier today, we produced, I'm going to clear all of these things off. We'll look at the trade now again. Earlier today, we produced a gap over here and a little bit, I think it's a little tiny one inside of here. Not too worried, as long as we didn't close beyond this candle. Okay. So we got a tiny one inside of there, as you can see, and then we have a little gap a little bit higher up. Then what we also did was we then produced a 1 hour breakdown into that area over there, right? That means, like I've shown you guys, students, on Monday's class, that is a high probability, or rather on Wednesday, as I told you all to go and have a look at this, that is what we call a high probability Model 3 setup, right? High probability Model 3 setup. So then when price goes into that level, or even into this level, we look for a breaker structure to the upside. In this case, it will be on the 1 hour. We get, sorry, on the 5 minute, which is in relation to the 1 hour. We get our breaker structure there. I'm not worried about that pullback. We get our BOS there, right? And then after we get our BOS, you know the system. You know what I've been teaching. We do Model 3, which is we wait for that manipulation to happen, which happens over there, which is very mechanical. I might take another entry here. We wait for the manipulation to happen, and then we wait for higher price action. Now, in an ideal scenario, the trade, based on a lower time frame, which would be a 1 minute in this particular case, would have been entered over here, and I'm going to show you exactly where that would have been. So that particular trade would have been over here, right? And I'll show you on the next candle. So we would have put a long position over here with a stop below here, and we would have been targeting 3R. maybe with a partial at 2R, depending on how far we can get. So then we would have gotten an entry when price tags into that level and plays around there for a bit and then starts to expand as to where it is right now. What a deep retracement we're getting now. We need not worry because we are being protected by the 5-minute, this particular area over here. So if I wanted to, would it surprise you if I took another trade over here? Would you think, Coach, are you crazy? How do you know it's going to go up? Well, let me show you. Let me take another one. I'll take less of a position. So I went 4 contracts on the other one. So I'll go 2 on this one. And let me take a buy over there. Modify order. At this point, you're probably wondering and saying, oh, I'm sure Coach is going to be wrong. It's going to go ahead and take him out. Now, this level here should be a protected area. If it does fail, then I was just wrong on the entire trade. Let's go ahead and look at the lower time frames as well. Likely going to sweep just below that low and then pull back up again. Now, slight adjustment. I should not be this close to the edge, otherwise I'll get taken out on spread. That's as much as I'm going to give it. So total risk on this trade, 661. And I believe I still have a TP to take up to that level on top there. Boom. Modify. Of course, there's multiple orders here, as you can see. And there's multiple orders here. I should move those slightly away so you can see it as well. I'll move them back if we actually get tagged out there, which is not going to happen. Coach, how do you know that's not gonna happen? Well, you gotta be confident in your trade, right? Okay, so the first entry was over there, arguably a bad entry. Should have gotten in on that bottom one. And yeah, now we wait for the skyrocket to happen. Might take some partials on the way since we don't have to go all that way there. And let's check. Let's go up to a better time frame. 15 minutes. No, let's check what's happening on the hour. Went into that level, came back down, manipulated at the bottom. Also came into this hourly gap over here that's on the 4-hour as well. So even more confluence for an upward trajectory. I'm going to put a magnet on price to draw price up manually. Where is the magnet? I use it so little that I forget where it is. Okay, we're going to put a magnet over here. Now we're going to tell price to get magnetized to go higher. We're going to clone that. And we're going to tell it to go even higher. And eventually all the way up to the top. So those magnets are going to draw price now. Right? Let's see what we have in terms of an actual take profit. A safer take profit realistically would be above these highs over here. That would be a better take profit. Just above those highs. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're not going to sit around and wait for this all this time to play out. So what we're instead going to do is I'm going to pause this particular recording. I remember exactly where I was and where my entries were over here. Okay, so first entry was here, arguably bad, but I was looking at that SBR over there, which we still, by the way, are in. Or rather, we just sweep below it. No, we sweep below it. We came into the bottom zone, and sometimes this happens because there's a little swing low inside there, but this area here should be protected, right? And the reason it should be protected because it already did the manipulation. There's no reason for it to come and manipulate again. So that's why it's happening. Okay, so now we're going to wait and see. All right, we're going to wait and see. So we'll come back in a short bit. And already we're getting some push up. I'm going to draw a line on the chart to remind the chart where to go. This is a live trade. You can see this is live price action as well. Let me remind the chart where to go in case it forgets. And we're going to take it from there. It's going to get magnetized all the way up till that level. It is a Friday, so we might not get that far. We'll take what profits we can when we see it gets into a good position. I'm waiting for it to go over this. That would have been a better trade and then go further up. Nevertheless, we still have good risk management here with these two trades. We'll see how that goes. Okay. So I'll be back shortly or whenever that momentum comes in, and we'll take a look at that again as price is moving. You know what? I think I might have over leveraged on that one. That's okay. We saw in the trade. Let me see what happened on that position. Trading negative. Oh, this is currently orders. Been doing tests on this before. Working. Bye. Okay, well, that's fine. I hardly trade through this platform like this. I trade through my actual broker. The live one is the one that's running now. Okay, we'll have a look at that. And when I say using an indicator, I mean using my own actual indicator that I built to kind of see what I was doing. And spoiler alert, didn't really work that well because I can see things better than I can anticipate it through an indicator of my own. I'll work on that over time. So we're going to come back to this. We'll see how it goes. Don't worry about me. We're not going to get stopped out yet. See you soon. Okay, real quick, just a quick update while I'm taking you through this again. Once you start seeing price action break new highs in the lower time frame, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do beforehand. Once you start seeing price action, like it comes down like that, breaks up above this, right? Once it starts breaking up with a gap on the lower time frame based on this last push in, I'm going to move this up till there, right? You're starting to get, because then that level, I should not move this physically, but nevertheless, I'm doing it. But then that level, we can do that. This level here should be protected, but we allow for a little bit of sweep below it. So I will move the stop loss up to that area once we get a gap over there, right? And then we should be free to continue higher into those levels. We'll go a long way to break even, but it is what it is. We got into earlier, rush that trade to get in, and then we'll see how far we can get on our way to that particular point. Risk reward is not my usual. I normally like to go 3-1, but in this case, we got in quite high. The trade, though, is exactly as I would take it in a normal situation. So this particular candle over here, this red one going down, and that one going up, I'm going to classify that as a gap candle. What I want to see now is price trade into the red candle as it has. And this candle can be a red candle, but I'd like to see the next one become a strong green candle, or even this one become a strong green candle, and we should be safe. You don't believe there's the actual time? It's Friday, the 26th of July. I am in South Africa, and it is, you know what? I can show you New York time at the bottom of my chart. I'm going to have a look at your actual chart and see whether or not this was the actual price action at that time. I always have my chart set to New York time because I believe that the markets are booked on New York time. So what I want to see now is I want to see price come back in now, allow it to come all the way back down into this red candle. Once it goes into that red candle, I want to see a stronger push of momentum to the upside. I believe that all of this was just manipulation for a larger move to the upside. So it can come down. We allow it to come down. We can allow it to come into that level. And we allow it to sweep beyond it as well. But while we are in it, I want to see a strong push up. This is why I haven't moved the stop just yet. You might be thinking, Coach, it's so close to that. How do you know it's not going to just take it out? That's why we trade specific levels. Now, what's not nice is I don't like to see this gap here. This is why I say don't pay for the white space. Now, this is NAS 100, so I do give it a little bit of room like that. But you should not be paying, like some of you have your stops. I'm so far wrong that I don't know why I'm in the trade, right? I'm not going to change that stop. I'm going to keep it right where it is at. A little bit of room below the low because it can sweep below that low. But I'm going to keep it right there. And we're going to wait for price to break this particular area. And then I'm going to move price to break even. Once we break this area, not break even, I can move the stop below this low. We should not then, after that point, we should under no circumstances trade beyond that point. This is the push, the possible last sweep. Once we get above this area, I will move, and we want to body close above this area. And then I will move to the stop up to the low. And then after that, we will just wait for price to run to our TP. Again, you're listening to me and thinking, how does Coach know that it's not going to take us out in the stop? We'll see it sweep below that low, or even come close to sweeping, and then rocket to the upside. Is this the rocket? Not yet. One more push. There we go. And now turn. That should be enough room for us to see price turn up right now. Here we go. So now we want to see it go above this particular level. And then we'll move our stop below this low. Not much of a movement, but in fact, just to prove to you how accurate some of the stuff will be, I'm not going to even move it below that low. I'm going to move our stop right here. And we should not come below that level ever again once we clear this. Well, not ever again. Oh, sorry, apologies for that. Just not today. It should start going up from that point on. Let's look at it from our time. Why am I expecting that? Well, we got that initial move up, right? The manipulation, the next move up. And usually I'd be in that first trade, and we might have taken a stop there if I was in on the 1 minute. But then I'll get in the next one, which is just a double manipulation. And that's something you have to account for if you are trading lower time frames, such as the 1 minute. But I do know that usually after that second manipulation, it does not come back there again. Why? Because why manipulate a price point twice and then come back to take that area out? It doesn't make sense. You know, it's got to go in the other direction. And it's already shown you intentionality to go up that direction. So now we'll go back to the 1 minute. We'll see how that looks. It's reacting off that level. So now next we're going to see is it take out that reaction. Let me take off all these drawings that I just put on here. We're going to see price take out that reaction over there. And once it takes out that reaction, we are in the World Cup. I will move this stop below there, and then we'll pause the recording again and come back once we are actually going to our TBs and stuff. So now you can see what you can do even if you have very little time and then are messing it up. Okay, so look at that. Once the candle closes, we should not see price come below this bodies of these candles over here. Right? We'll wait for that candle to close. Even if it's pushing down like this, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to show you that sometimes when you follow a system, of course, it can't be 100% accurate, but when you follow a system, it works very well. How many would move it that close to actual price action and assume that price would not hit it? Not a lot of us, but when you know some of the signatures and you have been practicing it for a while, you know the price cannot come. Then if it does come there, I was totally wrong, and I just take the next one. But if I'm talking about what kind of confidence level I have, because I've seen this happen so many times, very high confidence level, it should not come there. I know that some of you are going to wonder, Coach, what were you actually doing in that trade? How did you see this? We have to start where I have taught you guys. And eventually you will get to this level of confidence. Do I always get it right? Of course I don't get it right. But there is times when you see certain signatures in price action that you get really used to seeing it over and over again. And this is one of those cases. Did I say this was going to happen beforehand? Yes, I did. Did I say I can move the stop that close to price action without it being taken out? Yes, I did. Not trying to be overly arrogant. I'm just also trying to show you that this stuff it's an algorithm. It's a lot of manipulation happening. It happens time and time again. I would have loved to see a lot more momentum on this, but it is what it is. Don't worry, we will not get stopped out. It will not come to us. Cannot come there. So let me put I know I'm blowing your mind. You're saying that it cannot come here. And of course, in trading, it can possibly come there, but I'm just taking my probabilities. And you see it come and you're wondering, is it going to come? It won't. It's got to stay a certain amount of pips away from the level of which the space is enough. I will not move the stop. All we have to hope for now is we don't get taken out on spread, but still, it should not come there. The actual level that will get sensitive now will be this particular level where price is at. It's like a 50% of that candle. And students, you know, when I teach about the last two candles to the downside, I also mentioned to a couple of people, I don't need only the last two candles. I can look at just the single candle. And that sensitivity at that level tells me we cannot get to that level. You've seen it once now, you've seen it twice. So we cannot get to the bottom level. So I'll just move this across. I would love to have had news come in at this point to actually just give it some momentum, because it does seem like NAS 100 is very slow today. So I'm not sure if we're going to make it all the way up there. Maybe this just becomes a trade recap speaking about how to look at these bottom levels and actually see how far we get. It is Friday after all, so we will take it from there. Okay, I don't want to bore you guys with watching the same thing over and over, so let's just wait for it to get slightly higher, then I'll pause the recording. I still wonder why the other trade closed. I don't know what happened there. I think I might have over leveraged a little bit. I trade through the prop firm account, and so I don't actually trade live on TradingView like this. This was more so just me trying to show you guys how it actually plays out. But yeah, I might have messed it up, but that doesn't matter. We know that we got in over there on the initial trade, and that further down here somewhere I got in on the second one. We just want to see, doesn't take out this level, and we want to see it climb up above that particular area. That's the key that I'm trying to show you guys. Okay, we've gone up there again, one more candle above that high, and then I will pause the recording and we'll come back a little later and see how far we got. Quite inclined to actually just close this trade and re-enter right here for better entry, which is how I would have gotten in any case, likely in here with that same stop lower over there, away from that, because it is NAS. Because now my only concern is that I'm letting you sit and watch all of this move up. But if there's not enough momentum in today, will it really get above that? I don't know. Not now. Maybe at the end of today. I'm not sure. But again, this would also be a kind of like a 5-minute trade. So a stop hunt, break a structure up there, a trade back into that gap. We see the gap fail a little bit and go lower into this candle on account of that candle over there. Remember last week's explanation? We see it going to that candle over there, right? As to why gaps run deeper. If I wasn't rushing to show you guys this actual trade recap, since I had no trades on Euro today, and I'm actually wondering if we should move this away from Friday or whether or not I should record trades in the week. You know what? Maybe record trades in the week and then post here on Friday. That might be better. So I would have taken it on this, if I took it from the 5-minute, on this red candle to the downside with a stop slightly below this. Even with this dip below it, we would not get taken out, because on NAS, I do keep slight more room. If this was the Euro, I would be literally almost just at the bottom over there. Okay, so let's see quickly on the 1-minute where we are at. Okay, we've gone above that level again confidently, so we should not come back to this level at all. We cannot come back here, right? And I'm going to draw the actual level on there. Cannot come back here. And we should see higher price action, so I'm going to pause and I'll see you later. Okay, real quick, we've had a bit of an update here. As you can see, massive momentum has actually come into the market. And when that type of momentum comes in, we can then look at the last protected levels, which in this particular case would be these lows here. And we can move it up over there. Why? Because they stabbed into that level and showed that they are not going to go lower than that particular area. So once again, this has been a masterclass in showing you when you should have confidence in your actual strategy. Trade back into here and look to go higher. Now, I might not take it all the way up there, because I think I've proven more than enough here that we know what we are doing. I don't want to sit around here all day watching this particular trade. So instead, if we get some nice push above here, I'll come back and we'll close out the trade. And the talk through that I had with you based on structure. So on the 4-hour, we saw, and I will just take off all the drawings so you can see. On the 4-hour, we pierced into this gap over here, but also into that little gap over there, right? When we pierced into that, we were external on the 1-hour. And then we used the 5-minute to show us turning back that way, then manipulating below that low. This would be our first area of execution on the 1-minute, which would have given us at least a 2R to that level over there. Once we missed that 1-minute, though, because I got home too late, we would then take the next time frame up, which was the 5-minute, which is basically us trading into that breaker structure into this levels, that gap over there, and this last candle to the downside, and even this demand zone over here. All three of those things are a sign for a push up. Now, certain instruments, and that's why we got to know what we are trading. Certain instruments like NAS, for instance, has a tendency. Am I actually unmuted here? Let's check. Certain instruments, okay. Let me go over that again. We see price come into this particular 4-hour, right? And this little gap over there as well. That's on a higher time frame. Then we see on the 1-hour that we are external, right? We went external, external again, inside of that level. That's a signature. Then we look at the 1-hour setup and we see the 5-minute turn up that way. We need that one criteria for model 3. And then we need a manipulation of that level, which over here we would have gotten the first trade. But since I got home too late and I missed that one, we wait for a trade to come in to this gap, that last candle to the downside, and this demand zone. Being that it is NAS, we allow it to sweep below the low a little bit. That's why I moved my stop just off the low. We put it just below that low and not on it, because NAS will sweep often. You'll see things like this, sweeps above that and then drops down. You know, you'll see a lot of those types of scenarios, sweeps above, drops down. It's a characteristic of the thing that you are trading. So you got to know that. Then after that, we would have originally take our first trade over here in this area, which would have given us a 2R profit, but we missed that. So then we take our 5-minute, allowing for a slight sweep below the low. And we're going to see where that will take us. Under normal circumstances, had it not been a Friday, I'd look for it to fully go to this level, at least. But since it's a Friday, we do not have that amount of time. I am going to just decide to not cancel, but kind of close the trade once we get into profit above this level. And more so, what you should take away from this is how I produced confidence about it not going lower here. And this is very important because this is talking about institutional levels that price cannot trade beyond. And this is live price action. Go and look, 1105. If you go back here whenever you go and look at this recording again, you'll know that this is absolutely live. You're now in $25 profit. I could actually close it if you ever wanted to, because more so wanted to show you what happens if we got in over here. But let's leave it on for a little bit. The more momentum that comes in now, just more we can actually make. But at the end of the day, the key that I wanted to show you here today is that when you have a strategy that you follow mechanically and you know why things do what it does, and you understand that these things repeat itself over and over, week in and week out, when you see these types of signatures in price and you commit yourself to this type of trading, they don't scare you. You have an expectation. Now, could I gotten stopped out here? Of course I can. And I was being a little overboard early on, pretending like it'll never go there. But I just know that the probabilities are low. Why? Because I've seen this signature in price action before. Are these the highest probability conditions today? No, it's not. Just have a look here. You probably saw this if you were trading as yourself. We are in a consolidation, right? And in consolidations, we do get situations where price chops on both sides. Just look at this. Takes over there and takes over here. It goes on both sides of the market. And that is also why we get those little sweeps below the low at the bottom. Okay? I'm going to pause the video again. And yes, it's a paper trade because we're not allowed to do live trading on these platforms. Or at least I'm trying to avoid that completely, not to get in any form of trouble. But this should be impressive to you already, watching how price action moves up there. I'd really like to see it go above here before I actually close the trade out. But I wanted you guys to also just see the movement to the upside. So I'm going to go ahead and clip it out for you guys so that you can just see the portions that are about the trading. once this trade is done. Even more reason as to why I'm not going to hold it all the way up till there. We can always come back next week and see whether or not it went till there. But I only have about an hour left and I have to still edit it as well. So we'll talk about it when we get there. Hopefully I get a lot of comments on this. You guys find it impressive as to what we discussed over here at the bottom, why these levels are protected, and what stops price from going lower at that particular point. This is the only protected low at the moment before price actually goes up, because we've had a massive expansion. So still can't close just yet. I'm going to pause again and we'll come back in a little while. Okay, so this is where we are at now, and I am contemplating closing this trade mainly because it's going to take like forever to actually get to where it needs to do this late in the day. I hope that you're going to find meaning in the structure aspect of it, the build up to it. Of course, had we taken this trade on the 1 minute over here, that would be 2R over there. And even if we have taken it over here on the 1 minute, we'd also hit about 2R real soon. And so I hope that you take from that the meaningful part of it. So this might be the most important break-even trade you've seen in a long time. I have to get this out to our actual admin who's going to post it live. So for our students, just to speak about the actual logic of the trade, I'm going to probably close it right here. Now, I am still doing something in the background. As you can see, this has taken so long. I've changed clothing. I have gone and done some things. So we're going to see, as you can see, the timer at the bottom still just continuing forward. Nothing has been changed. We are now at that level based on that retracement. If you go back a little earlier on, you'll hear me say that we can get a deep pullback over here, right? And then start to move up again. So now, because of that retracement, I could move this up till there. We've got our big pullback, and this is the new protected level over here, okay? That's the new protected level. We should not see price action go below that. I know that we were risking a lot more on this trade, and had this been any other day aside from a Friday, we'd likely get easy momentum pushing up that side. But for the sake of actually getting the recording out, this is usually, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is what we give our students on a Friday as a trade recap. And I unfortunately came home just slightly too late to catch it in the 1 minute there. And we do this to show the actual concepts in action. But I think that this one in itself has been more valuable. I don't know why Zoom is doing this, that it's showing that I'm still muted. Keeps muting me beyond even when I unmute, so I'm not sure what's actually going on here. So this recording might be disjointed here and there because of the mute button not unmuting itself, which is a first for me. However, if you're watching this on YouTube, this might be the most important break-even trade you've ever seen. If you trade SMC or you trade supply and demand or support and resistance, some of the concepts that you've seen in here, you will know. But what we do is we teach something more than that. Now, if you are currently KDT Elite, then you should be, if you want to trade like this, you should be looking at the high-level program. If you're currently high level, you should be going through all the content that I gave you and coming to all the classes. If you're watching this on YouTube, you should get in contact with our website and join the KDT Elite program or the KDT High Level program so that you can get into what is kind of happening here. Now, I am not going to hang around and let it go until there. This recording will take forever. And it has to go out today. In fact, it has to go out in the next hour, which means there's just not enough room to get over there, right? So that being said, this will be what I call the most important break-even trade you ever watch. If you did find this valuable, especially my confidence here at the bottom and me speaking you through what's about to happen, you found that valuable, then please leave us a like, a comment, and a subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, it will be posted there later. Not now, it will go to students first. If you're watching this on our KDT Elite, then please comment as well. Tell me what you thought about this video. And if you are watching this inside of our programs, drop us an email as well and let us know what you thought about this. Currently, $188. I think we're going to, you know what? This is what we'll do. I'm going to bring it up till here, right? This is not the highest protected level, but I'm anticipating we're going to go higher than that. At the moment, I'll bring it up till there, so that way I can let it run for a little bit without us losing big. So now we are risking $173, right, to make probably triple that. The risk has been reduced. Now, of course, I'm not trying to change this. I explained to you the whole process from the bottom up, but I hope that you guys found this valuable. This is the most important break-even trade you'll ever get to see. Thank you, everybody. You guys be blessed. I'm going to take myself off the screen. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This is a very informal, trade setup. We're doing this very informally. I know that you'll find tremendous value in this as well. So we'll let that run. We have a tap back in. I am perfectly okay with allowing this to go to just purely break even. And then, as I said, it will be the most important break even trade you ever watch. But that being said, we cannot lose. And like I said, cannot come back to that area. Right? Cannot go back beyond that area. We'll put that magnet over there. You draw price. And maybe if there's enough time in the edit, I will add where we are when the actual trade finishes, right? But that's where we are at the moment. The most important break-even trade you've ever watched. Thank you, everybody. You guys were blessed on purpose, mindset, multiplication, and management. It's been Coach Chadwin. This is the Friday trade recap. This is how we do it. As I said earlier on, I shall attempt to do recaps in the week and rather post it on Friday like we spoke about originally, since we have so little momentum on these Friday afternoons. Afternoon, my side in South Africa, but morning, just about turning to afternoon, your side, if you're in New York, in the US. Thank you, everyone. You guys be blessed. Thank you. Okay, so here's the thing. The editing of this actual video is taking so long that I thought that I'll jump in real quick right here, record a ending to this video again, and currently just show you actually where the actual trade is. Now, I know you've sat through about 36 minutes of this, and if you did skip towards the end, then that's also okay. But let me show you what's impressive about knowing how price actually works. Let me show this little portion of what it's done in between the time it took to actually edit. The same trade. I know someone's gonna say, but coach has a different clothing on. Let me just prove it to you quickly. I still have the jacket that I had on. That's how long the editing actually took, right? I thought that would be a little funny for you, but this is where we are right now. Didn't close the trade, and if you look back in the timestamps and you look on the actual video, you could see I moved it till there. And that is where price action never came back to that point, and we're still running up. Do I think that we're going to reach that overall target now? I don't think so. I think there's not enough momentum in the day. So I'm going to go ahead and close it over here. $830 in profit. Now, I know I said to you that this will be the most important break-even trade that you ever see. Well, I guess it's not a break-even trade. Nevertheless, you saw the principle in process as well. So this will be the end of the video. Mindset, multiplication, and management. It's been Coach Chadwin. Hope you were blessed and impressed by this particular video. Right? Thank you, everybody. Remember, before I go, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Please let me know that you want to see more of these. Entire position closed, and that's it for today. Thank you, everyone, again. Okay, goodbye.